The call to serve in the mission field is just that. It's a calling from your heart, drawn by the Lord.
I felt called to join this mission because of the uniqueness of the teaching aspect.
We are about empowering believers to do ministry, both locally and on the foreign mission field.
I was involved in Operation New Life from the very beginning with Jim Phillips and Bill Alfonso. I met Jim Phillips, who has an inner city ministry here, Love, Truth, and Care Ministries, and felt like that would be a way to help the poor. And I heard through him about a construction team that he took down a couple of times a year to build houses for families who were literally living in cardboard boxes. While we were there on that construction mission, we met a gentleman whose father owned a hospital, and he just sort of asking what I did at home, and I said, well, I'm a physician. And he said, so if you had a real hospital to work in and doctors to teach, you'd come back and do surgery? And I said, yeah, that's been my prayer for all these years. And he put us in contact with his father, who owned a hospital, a small hospital there in Honduras. From that relationship with this private hospital, which is called Dime Hospital, we made contacts there with the medical school, which is called Hospital Escuela, school hospital. The need there is enormous. Their desire for us to partner with them was great, and that's really where it all began.
Realizing that 5 years ago that Operation New Life started as a dream with Dr. Shoemake and myself as we visited with a small local hospital. And I came face to face with the poverty, just the stark poverty and hopelessness that I saw there, and it just touched my heart to the point that all I could manage to pray that day was just that the Lord would send laborers. And here we are 5 years later, this year we'll have 5 surgical teams. The average income in Honduras is about $650 a year. And so to be able to impact the health care of a country like that and to empower and educate doctors that will be operating long after we're gone is just an incredible opportunity.
When you serve on the mission field, the opportunity to be a part of a team that addresses the needs of patients who would otherwise probably never have the opportunity to have these procedures done is such a reward to the surgeon. You know, as a missionary, you go down with skills and with training that you think you are going to impart on the people that you're going to encounter in the field, and you come back more blessed and more rewarded for being down there because of the people that you encounter, not because of your skills.
I joined with this group only a couple of years ago, and it's been one of the greatest enjoyments I've had. The joy that comes with teaching surgeons so that they can reach many, many.
On our last trip this past May, we met a little boy. Now these patients just show up. You know, they hear that we're there, and this was not a patient that was scheduled. A lot of patients just hear that we're coming, and they just somehow manage to get there. This was a little boy who was 16 who was badly burned as an infant. And he had what we call scar contracture, which means that his burns went untreated. And his arm was totally attached all the way down to the outside of his chest and his abdomen. So he couldn't raise his arm at all. The fact that we had an orthopedic surgeon there, Dr. Sorrells, combined with some of the techniques that we use in burn reconstruction, we took him to the operating room and released that and got his arm up to here for the first time in his life. Arranged for him to have physical therapy, and just to see him back with the biggest smile on his face with his arm up for the first time in his life, you know, that's just one of the many examples of life-changing things that God has given us the ability to do.
Seeing a baby that has never been able to bring their mouth together because of the deformity, and at the end of a 4-hour operation, have the lip intact, ready to begin the healing process, to have a normal looking nose, a normal looking lip, that when you now look at the baby, you don't see up into their nose. You see a lip and you see a nose just like any one of us would want to see our children. That was such an inspiring moment for me. But what was more inspiring was when I took that baby and gave it to the mama, and the look in that mama's eye, seeing her baby for the first time, looking like a normal face, was a moment that I'll never forget.
If I were really going to reach patients with something that I see as good for patients, it comes through teaching.
We don't go down there and try to show them what wonderful surgeons we are. We go down there and partner with them to allow them Monday morning to be better surgeons, better nurses, and therefore treat these patients with as good or maybe even a little more service than what they had prior to us coming.
We bring down lectures, we bring down equipment, we work side by side with them in the operating room to help teach them new skills that they don't have access to learning.
I could do 100 of a certain operation each year, and I would reach 100 patients. Or I could teach 100 surgeons, and they could do 100 of these procedures, and then you reach 10,000 patients.
The thing about that we always have to remember at Operation New Life is we leave on Saturday, but these men and women are there on Monday. And so when we're bringing this technology down there, it's got to be technology and it's got to be teaching that they can use Monday.
You know, it's different reading about something than actually seeing someone do it. So they'll let us know what skills they really need to learn, and we will try to recruit doctors with those skills.
So many times we've heard the plastic surgeons that we're partnering with in Honduras to say to us, I've always seen this in the book, but I never thought I'd get an opportunity to actually do the case.
We've developed a teaching facility now in Tegucigalpa, Honduras. That's state-of-the-art television in the operating room. And we have a high-quality digital video camera mounted directly above the operating table so that we can focus down on this operation and then live telecast to a conference room where as many as 50 surgeons can sit in this room and learn this surgical technique. We see the opportunity with this learning center to not only telecast to this classroom, but via the internet and telephone cables and DSL or whatever, we can send this signal from Honduras to anywhere in the world.
It requires diligent prayer on the part of members in North America and our own team to bring about this work, not only financially, not only technically, but also spiritually.
We need volunteers in order to function because we have no paid personnel. We're dependent on funds that we can raise, and we're always asking for volunteers.
We always need other partners and other physicians, other nurses, other anesthesiologists, all the members of the surgical teams.
Another component of our my prayer is that we would have the ability to touch the hearts of men and women that might not be able to serve physically on the mission field, but be drawn into the vision to at least partner with us with their funds to allow us the privilege of continuing to work down there. None of these things that we are doing down there are without cost, and so we're constantly having to search for funds. There are also people that can't have the funds to help us, but when you work in the mission field, one aspect of mission work is the power of prayer.
We're praying for surgeons and for teams from around the state or from around the country, and we have several from around the country now that have joined us to join with us so that potentially there may be an Operation New Life team down there every week of the year.
The Bible says, to those whom much has been given, much is expected in return. And I feel that. I've been given so much, I do want to give back. And an opportunity such as this mission is a real opportunity to give back.
The ability to go down, for a surgeon in particular, to go down and be able to do what God has gifted us to be able to do here in a third world country, in a safe setting, and to be able to teach and be exposed to the doctors and nurses who are there and to help educate them and empower them with the knowledge that we have was just very appealing to me and to Bill and to every physician that we've really talked to.
Part of the joy of Operation New Life is also seeing the grace of God expressed through the members of our team in their words and their actions, the love and the grace that we know our hearts have been drawn to on the mission field. But now we get to see it in action, and we get to see the response of the family and or the patient. And that's an incredible blessing that just draws you to get ready to serve again on the mission field.
The whole thing from the standpoint of being able to empower and elevate the health care of a third world country, particularly the second poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, has just been an awesome, awesome dream that's beginning to unfold.
And my appeal is to other orthopedic surgeons, other plastic surgeons, nurses, volunteer people who are reaching a time in their life when they have less professional demands to give their time and go with us and reach these people.